If you were able to join us for our online service this past Sunday, you'll know that we hosted a panel discussion titled, "Where do we go from here?" Now, this discussion, and if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please go ahead and do so. But this discussion was actually a follow-up to a series of conversations that we had last summer under the banner, The Listening Church. And as we hosted this discussion with the intention of diving further into the conversation surrounding racial equality, what it means to be a united church, what it means to be rooted in the gospel and to engage in mission together, one of the key concepts that emerged was this idea of unity in diversity. And as I've been reflecting more on this concept, I can't help but think that it offers such a compelling vision to the world around us. You see, so much of today's conversation revolves around the concept of equality, and people are rightly fighting for and striving for equality across racial or ethnic boundaries, along with many others. But the truth is, the gospel commends us and in fact empowers us to arrive at something far greater than equality alone. And that's actually unity in diversity. Unity wherein we don't simply treat one another as equals, but we actually come together as one body. Now, if there's one passage that I think so beautifully speaks to this concept, it's the last portion of Jesus' high priestly prayer in John chapter 17. Jesus is praying this with his disciples on the very night that he is about to be arrested and later crucified. And it's this topic of unity that occupies so much of his prayer. In John chapter 17, beginning in verse 20, Jesus prays, "My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us so that the world may believe that you have sent me. I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one, I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them, even as you have loved me." I want us to notice a few things in this incredibly beautiful passage. Notice firstly in verse 20 that Jesus makes it clear that he's praying not only for his disciples in that particular moment, but also for those who will believe in him through their witness. In other words, on this very night, some 2,000 years ago, Jesus was praying for you and I. He was praying for the church today, knowing that that church would be one that would come to encompass men and women from every language and tribe and nation, that it would be a multi-ethnic church. And it's knowing that he prays for the unity of his body. His desire is that we would share a kind of unity that can be compared with the unity that exists within God himself, that the unity experienced between the Father and the Son, and of course also the Spirit, would be the kind of oneness that we would experience as a body as well. And yet notice why it is that this kind of unity is so powerful and important. Jesus says that when we are brought to this kind of complete unity, then the world will know that the Father has sent him and has loved them even as he has loved the Son. In other words, Jesus expects that one of the greatest apologetics for the church will not be rational arguments about why God exists or the truth of Scripture, even though these are important and have their place. Rather, one of the primary ways that the world will be able to know the truth of who Jesus is when they see the unity, the oneness that exists within the church. Now, when you think about this, it actually makes a lot of sense. When we look at our culture around us today, if there's one thing that we can describe being true about our culture, it's that it is radically divided. And it seems that with each passing day, divisions and lines of division become all the deeper and all the wider. And so just imagine what an incredible testimony it would be to have a group of people who on the outside look completely different ethnicities, different genders, different areas of the political spectrum, vocations, socioeconomic statuses, all different kinds of people who are nevertheless one, who are united, and who are not simply united in a sort of tolerant, equitable kind of way, but who, as Jesus goes on to pray, are united in love. John chapter 17, verses 25 to 26. "Righteous Father, though the world does not know you, I know you, and they know that you have sent me. I have made you known to them and will continue to make you known, in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and that I myself may be in them." In other words, Jesus tells us in this prayer what true unity, what complete unity in diversity actually looks like. The way that we know that we're united, that we're experiencing the kind of oneness that Jesus prays for in this prayer is when we are a people of love, a people who genuinely, truly love one another. And yet notice, who love one another with the very love that the Father loves the Son with. This is the kind of love, a supernatural, divine love that is meant to exist within the body. And so as we continue to wrestle with this as a church, as we continue to consider what it means to be united in diversity, can I encourage you to make Jesus' prayer your own prayer for our church body, for our Capstone Humber Vale Fellowship, that we would be a people who are brought to complete unity, to oneness across all the kinds of divisions or boundaries that our world and culture would want to set up, that we even sometimes ourselves would want to set up, that we would be a multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-gendered congregation that is pursuing Jesus together, that is known by our love and by our oneness, in order that the world, the community around us, would be one that is able to see the truth of who Jesus is expressed in our life and in our unity.